Hello, and welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. Over the years, I have spoken to and interviewed probably hundreds of people who are nomads and live full-time in a various assortment of vehicles. Many of those individuals are seniors. And we've talked about so many topics, including how to stay warm in winter, how to stay cool in the summer, how to best prepare to move into a vehicle. But one of the things we haven't talked about a lot is how to formulate an exit plan, especially if you're living in a vehicle for financial reasons. Because let's face it, rents aren't going to be going down. So what do you do if you get to a point where you can no longer be a nomad? Perhaps it's for medical reasons. Perhaps it's because your eyesight is failing and you can no longer drive. There's a whole host of reasons, but what do you do? And what are the emotional impacts from living as a nomad to having the freedom to travel everywhere, to move on a whim, to being in a stationary place where all of that freedom is removed from you? Well, today, I'm going to let you listen in on a conversation I had with Lindy from Lava Lindy's Awesome Van Adventure YouTube channel. She talks about some of those very things and what it's like at 79 to be considering coming off the road, at least as a full-time nomad, and being only part-time. So come along and listen in. And if you are a nomad and are having to consider that possibility in the near future, share in the comments with me what your thoughts are and what some of your ideas are on what your exit plan could or will be. And stay tuned to the very end, because I'm going to share a few pictures and a short video of the meetup Lindy and I had in Quartzsite, Arizona. It was really a lot of fun. You don't want to miss it. Well, hello, Lindy. Lindy and Marley. How is it going out here in the desert of Quartzsite?
It's beautiful out here.
I want to talk to you today about a kind of serious topic, and it's something that you're experiencing, and I wanted to get your take on it. And that is, how do you know when it's time as a nomad and as a van lifer? How do you know when it's time to kind of hang up your saddle and say it's enough? What are the signs? And I guess the other part of it is it hard to admit it? Is it hard to say it's time because you'll miss the freedom and the companionship? I know I'm asking a whole lot of questions, but it encompasses so much. But I guess start out with, how do you know when it's time?
Well, I think each individual, it depends on the individual. I feel like if you're so tired during the day that you really don't do much every day, and so what's the point in being in your van if you can't do a lot? And then you look for alternatives, or your health deteriorates, and major surgeries, all things happen during the surgery. There's all kinds of things, but the main thing is, I've noticed with me, is I'm tired all the time. I could sleep every day through if I didn't force myself to get up and go do things. And you get ready. I think mentally you get ready. I never believe I'll leave my van. I believe I'll have a permanent address, but I'll still continue to travel on shorter trips and things like that.
Now,
but,
was it
body tells you
as you are, because I know you had surgery and it's taken a toll on you, as you are experiencing these changes in your body, mentally, how hard has it been to adjust and to acknowledge and say, you know what, it's time? Has it been difficult to come to that conclusion, or did it take time? Were you going back and forth, debating? How did you go through that process?
Well, I don't know that it was like a process. I really, I just knew that I was ready. I was ready, and I was very tired. I was kind of ready to, give it up. And your body tells you that when you're ready. After the surgery, it didn't go as well as everybody thinks, and there were a lot of things that have happened, and it's taken a real serious toll for me. That a year ago, before the surgery, I was so much different than I am now.
I noticed, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have a lot of energy, but it's neither here nor there. Your body and your mind are together, and your mind is saying it's time, and your body's already showing you it's time. So you either pay attention to it or you ignore it.
Well, are you experiencing kind of a grieving process or no? A grieving process of the life that you've come to love for the last several years?
No.
Or is it a relief?
It's kind of a relief. It's a process where you just kind of say, I'm ready.
How have you come in terms of to decide what your next part of this journey will be? Because I know there are all kinds of options, and you've narrowed it down to a trailer. But what steps did you go through, and what evaluation processes did you go through to determine that that was the best choice for you?
Well, I've lived, in apartments. I've lived in mobile homes. I've lived in houses. I've lived in almost just about everything, apartments. And I sat down and I went through the pros and cons of each one. And
what were the pros and cons of living in an apartment? Because I know you're
the neighbors.
You're adamant about not wanting to live in an apartment.
The neighbors, the noise, the no privacy, absolutely no privacy. I go from this to an apartment, it'll never work. I will lose my mind. There's no way.
Because here you have total privacy, and if you don't like your neighbors, you just get up and move.
That's right. This gives you, and everybody talks about freedom, but this gives you the right to just move. You don't like what's happening, but you can't do that in an apartment. I had so many neighbors that had so many problems. The last apartment, it was just, every day it was craziness. You never knew. Some were into drugs, some were this, some were, you just would walk out and never know what was going to hit you, or who was going to talk to you, or who wasn't going to talk to you, or what they were going to say. So I don't ever want to be in an apartment again.
So you would say then, it sounds like what you're saying is that to transition from having lived in a van or a vehicle for a number of years into an apartment could be a very, for
very
many,
detrimental.
Could be a very challenging transition.
Yeah, I think it would be very detrimental to me.
Okay.
I think it would put me in a very bad way.
So that's something for people to consider, because a lot of times when you sign up for an apartment, you have to sign a lease. So a person could sign a year lease, get in there, and find out they're so miserable because it's so different from what they've been accustomed to. So maybe one of the things perhaps you might suggest then is that if a person is going to transition from a van to an apartment, maybe just try it for a month first to see.
Yeah.
Would you suggest that?
I would suggest that. The only reason I think that I could transition into a trailer is it's similar to the van, and it's small, so it can be hooked up. In my mind, I have to settle my mind that I can move. If I want to, I can move. That's what's important to me. I can drive away. So apartment, I can't drive away, but mentally, in my head, I can take that. If I don't like it, I can move.
So going from here into a trailer, even if it's an illusion, you still have the concept that I'm not stuck.
Yes.
I at some point could move if I wanted to or had to.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's the only way that me transitioning, that's the only transition I can make at this time, even mentally, to accept it.
Okay.
When you get into it, I love my van so much. I just love living this lifestyle so much. Changing it is going to be detrimental anyway, to be in one place, even in a trailer.
So changing it where you're in something that's affixed to the ground, that would be kind of mentally challenging for you.
It's going to be mentally challenging. This was never mentally challenging.
Okay.
It was so smooth, but getting out of it is going to be very, very hard.
So if you're a nomad at heart, you have to have, it sounds like you're saying, if you're a nomad at heart, you need some connection to that in whatever you transition to. And being in a trailer is kind of still has
it's a fantasy.
It still has the perception of being a nomad, or it
Yeah.
still has the capability to be a nomad.
So it's not going to settle in my mind that, oh, now I'm stuck forever. I'm just going to sit here and be in front of a TV.
Okay.
That's why one of the trailers, the instant I walked in, there's 2 chairs and a TV, and I'm like, no, it's just like an apartment. No, I'm not going to sit in these chairs and watch TV in a travel trailer waiting to die.
So you want a travel trailer that kind of mimics your van a little bit?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay, so
I mean,
you
it's
want
going
to
to
really
have a bathroom and a shower.
So you want to move from your van just to another van, but a trailer, a van without wheels. I mean, without an engine or motor.
Yeah, a van without an engine, but I'll be able to stand up in it, and I'll have a little kitchen and a bathroom.
Okay.
You know, those will be some conveniences, which actually I don't miss. I want to get up here.
She's going about.
Oh yeah, she acts like she can't walk. Look, look.
Yeah, she's going so slow.
Yeah, get up here. Good girl. Good girl, Marley. Come here.
All right. All right. So what made you decide to pick a trailer over a tiny house? Because a tiny house has some of the same advantages as a trailer in that you can pull it, you can move it. What made you decide a trailer over a tiny house?
Well, tiny house is a lot more expensive, number one. Number two, I'm not against tiny houses, but have you seen how I'm used to really rough and ready? To me, it would remind me of an apartment, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The more they make them, and how different, it really reminds me of being in an apartment.
So you don't want something that looks all done up and decorated and all that stuff.
I don't feel comfortable in something like that.
So you want something that's really more minimalistic.
Very, very minimalistic.
Okay.
Yes.
And
I don't want fancy. I don't want to have to clean 500 feet. I don't want to. Now I'm going to, because when I get in there, I become a clean freak. I'm obsessed with it. In my van, I a little bit obsessed, but not like I do in an apartment or a house.
And even if you're obsessed, it's so little that you can obsess for a few minutes and you're done.
And then I'm done.
Okay.
You know.
All
we're
right.
out.
Well, Lindy, we're all looking forward to seeing what trailer you get and where you put it. And those of you who want to follow along on Lindy's journey, go over and check her out on Lava Lindy's Awesome Van Adventure. And she will be sharing, you'll be sharing this part of your journey with your audience, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But I, you know, when we're talking, I want to make sure they understand this is not a stop story. This is not someone unhappy,
right,
or anything like that. But you recognize that you have to slow down. Your mind recognizes it, and your body tells you. You know, in my circumstances.
Well, you're recognizing it so you can make the choice yourself,
yes,
rather than have something else and the choice be made for you.
Yes, I want to make the choice myself.
You want to be in control,
yeah,
and do it while you are able to be in that position.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's a very wise thing to recognize that and take action at this point in this stage of your journey.
Just everybody remembers you're not guaranteed tomorrow.
That's
You've
true.
only got today. You've got this minute, this second, so live it while you can.
Make the most of it.
Make the most of it, yeah.
Meanwhile, out here in this beautiful, beautiful surrounding with wonderful weather and some pretty nice people too, you know. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings. We'll see you down the road. Your princess wave. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
I have to do mine, but I'm doing mine during charades.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Wait.
Hey, hey. Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello, Carol.
Hello, hello.
Nice to meet you, Carol.
It's nice to meet you too. We're going to be playing charades in a few minutes. and we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, there's plenty of pizza left. We've got all kinds of everything on here, vegetarian, pepperoni, you name it.